Kesvara had ended the lives of 17 warlords, 43 politicians, and countless mercenaries who dared oppose her employers. Her name was whispered in the dark corners of spaceports across the Andromeda sector. Bounty hunters trembled at her reputation. Entire security forces had failed to stop her. She was perfection incarnate, a weapon forged from logic, discipline, and the complete absence of emotion. Then she crashed on Kepler 442b. The escape pod systems had been damaged during the firefight over Titan Station. Kesvara had barely limped the vessel to the surface before the engines gave out completely. She emerged from the wreckage into a lush forest of bioluminescent vegetation, her black combat suit blending seamlessly with the shadows. She would repair the pod within hours. She would resume her mission, but the ruins nearby changed everything. It was a human settlement, abandoned judging by the silence. Kesvara moved through the skeletal structures with methodical precision, scanning for threats. In the central dwelling, she found the pod, a cryogenic preservation chamber, ancient by galactic standards, still humming with residual power. Inside was Child, a human infant, no more than 2 years old, sleeping peacefully behind frosted glass. Kesvara's logical mind immediately categorized the situation. The pod was a life pod from the colony ship that had crashed here 50 years ago. The child had been placed in cryo-sleep, likely by a dying parent. The settlement had been abandoned. No rescue would ever come. The infant would die. She should have left immediately, should have proceeded with her repairs, and forgotten the scene entirely. Attachment was weakness. Sentiment was inefficiency. Instead, Kesvara opened the pod. The child stirred as the cryostasis released. Small eyes, brilliant green, so fragile, blinked open slowly. The infant gazed up at the tall figure looming above her, and instead of crying, she smiled. Her tiny hand reached upward. "Mama," the child whispered, her voice barely audible. Something in Kesvara's chest contracted. Her enhanced neural implants registered the phenomenon, a cascade of neurochemicals she had surgically suppressed 15 years ago. Emotion. She had cut it out of herself systematically, piece by piece, until she was pure function, pure lethality. She was feeling it return, and she couldn't stop it. Kesvara named the child Arya. For the next 3 weeks, as she worked on repairing the escape pod, she found herself deviating from optimal behavior patterns. She fashioned blankets from salvaged fabric. She sang to Arya at night, songs from a language she had nearly forgotten, a language from her childhood before she became an assassin. She held the small girl while she slept, her combat-trained hands gentle, protective. She taught Arya to laugh. The repairs were complete. The pod was flight-ready. Kesvara stood at the threshold of the dwelling, Arya sleeping against her chest in a makeshift sling, and made her first emotional decision in 2 decades. She destroyed the pod's navigation systems. The communications console still functioned. She sent a message to her employers, her voice carrying no inflection. "I am dead. The target was eliminated. Do not search for me." It was the only lie she had ever told them. She and Arya stayed in the settlement. Kesvara used her combat training to hunt, to build shelter, to create safety. She taught Arya words, songs, and the names of constellations. She built traps to catch water during the rare rainstorms. She became what she had never been, a mother. One evening, as Arya sat on her shoulders watching the galaxy spin overhead, the child wrapped her small arms around Kesvara's head and whispered, "Mama, I love you." The galaxy's most feared assassin, the woman who had killed without hesitation or remorse, felt tears slide down her face. She held her daughter close and understood something that no amount of combat training or neural enhancement could teach her. That love was the strongest force in any universe. She was no longer Kesvara the assassin. She was someone infinitely more powerful, a mother, and she would defend her daughter with the same lethal precision she had once reserved for contracts. Only this time, her motivation wasn't cold logic. It was everything she had destroyed in herself to become a weapon. It was love.